enemy fight to gain what we cannot take with us. It's in our nature.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Assassin's Creed Syndicate 100% sync walkthrough. This is sequence 8, Fun and Games. So we're currently traversing our way to Starrick's does it say workshop? Or yeah, workshop I think. Can you remember how I mentioned on the Halo videos, if you watched them, that my capture card that I purchased only did about 6 megabytes on bitrate for video, so it was a massive downgrade in quality. Well, thanks to a subscriber by the name of Furry, I was able to get it to go higher, and even now, when it's 13 meg as opposed to 6, when I put these videos into Adobe Premiere and I watch them back and commentate like this, I see a lot of artifacting and a lot of blurriness, and one of the main reasons is because I don't render the timeline before I do these, which would make it run smoother, but it's a waste of time in my opinion, because it can take a while to render depending on how intensive the video is, and in the time it takes you to do that I could have commentated it and move on to the next one. So certain details can be lost in translation, whereas you're watching it's not necessarily the highest quality of the video, but you're watching a high version after 2 different sets of compression, and it's still way better than the screen that I'm seeing. So when you see those finer details, for me it's very difficult to read them because they just look jumbled up. And I have really good eyesight as well, so it's nothing to do with my poor bastard eyes. It's just, you know, it's really tough to read some of this when it's all jigsaw pieced together. And this mission here, I originally tried to do it without anybody seeing me, being a super stealth, secret squirrel kind of dude, and then I realised it just wasn't worth it, because I ended up blowing up one of the deposits and it killed somebody and I failed the objective. So I'm going to show you now a super rush down way of doing this, as I experiment with trying to chuck that over the wall, and it doesn't work, you know. There's a lot of strategies that you try that just don't come of anything. But basically, use the smoke bombs to pick up the dynamites and place the dynamites where the game tells you to place them. If you're a little bit more intelligent with your placements of smokes here, you can do this very easily. But the problem is the same that it's always been when you pick things up. It's very difficult to be stealthy when you're running around carrying something, and the enemies are just as alert when you're carrying things as they are when you're not. So there are these wonderful moments where I'm going to be running away to reset the environment, and then I'm going to be going back in, dropping smoke bombs and continuing to place these explosive deposits. And it's one of those missions that's not very tricky, because the only thing you have to worry about failing wise is not killing people, and there's no reason to kill anybody. You know, there's just no reason for that. The only reason might be if you think you have to light the dynamite rather than place them, which is what I did initially, and I ended up killing somebody with the explosion, but there's no call for that in this sequence. So just throw those smoke bombs, pick up these dynamites and drop them in the place. And I find it really interesting that in this particular mission you don't have to be anonymous to drop these boxes in the spots, but in almost every other mission when we've interacted with something like this, it's made us do it without being spotted. So it's almost as if when they were playing it back they realised that not getting spotted here, when you consider the environment, when you consider how many enemies there are, and when you consider just how this game works as far as its, you know, discovery mechanics are, it wouldn't have been even remotely fun. And I think it's a very smart choice on their behalf to have made it that way. But just notice how I'm only getting the grapple point to that side of the house, even though there are several other spaces I could have perhaps gone to. I'm trying to drop off the grapple here, I think. And there it was. Sometimes it works better than others. There are other times where the character is so sticky it's almost impossible to let go of things. And this guy has a go at me. I didn't mean to counter him then. I tried to pick up the box and I ended up pressing B and catching him as he came in. But we only have 2 more to do, and I'm not too worried. Smoke bomb, pick up the stuff, go and place it. And then once you've done this, there's going to be a little bit of a cutscene and we're going to have to save some kids. And it's a little weird, because once again Assassin's Creed does that wonderful thing where in most games they wouldn't have had people trying to cock block you while you were saving children from a burning building, but this game just kind of does. So, you know, God bless it in its strangeness. So I move back onto the roof to try and kill the awareness, and once again nobody can feasibly see where I am yet. I have a red threat ring because they're looking for me and they kind of know where I am, and it's just that moment of, really guys, are you that alert? And I always find it funny that the guards are all expert climbers. You notice that? Everybody in history is a parkour god. Yeah, I didn't even know the word parkour until like 2005 or something, when I first stumbled across those crazy district films, like all those Russian videos on YouTube, or whenever that was. Like, yeah, back in 1800s, when women did super important things and weren't prejudiced against at all, everybody was an expert climber. Like, if you tried to make the film Cliffhanger in this period, it wouldn't have worked, because everybody could have done his job. You wouldn't have needed Sylvester Stallone. And you might have understood what he was saying for most of the film, too. But wait for him to walk the other way, and then I'm going to drop down and pick up these explosives. So I used a little bit of stealth in the end, but for the most, you can really force the square block in the circle hole and have no issue whatsoever. And I think that's a major problem with the game, because I don't think it should work like that. I'm all for the game giving you choice to do things, but I don't know, I like clean gameplay. I like things that come together perfectly and almost seem like a dance, and that will never be this game at all, as I try to dodge a bullet there and drop a bomb, you know. Weird shit like that all the time happening. But come back over to this guy, speak to him. And there's going to be a transition once we become anonymous, of course, because all the expert climbers can see us through walls. Hey, look at it, just... Even the music knows that there's no reason for us to still be non-anonymous. Good God. But watch that, you see that? Perfect gameplay right there. Stab the dude and he continues walking onwards. Even robbed him too. Dead man walking. But there's a bunch of kids in here. You only have to save the first few. You have to pick the door originally, and then you have to carry the kids. The good news is, if you have to drop a bomb to stop the guys from messing with you, you'll chuck the child, and you can't throw them normally, so it's a much quicker way of moving the kiddies, which I think is fantastic. Because watch this. I'm going to go towards this exit, and I'm going to get cock-blocked by a guy that wants to fight me. Because when you're saving children, people just get really mad at you. So you drop the first kid. There you go. See you later, kiddie. Can't chuck him. Annoying. And then it pisses someone off. How dare you save a child from a burning building? He's having a crack, so he beats me up a bit. I drop a bomb. I pick up this person, because you've got to do this quickly, that's why I'm trying to rush. And watch, this is so good. So, I struggle getting past... Oh no, I don't. I get past him okay. I struggle on the door, because the clipping, and then... Do it. I try and dodge it. There it was! Fireman's running carry toss. Because I wanted to dodge being shot at. Wonderful technique. It made my day, it really did. It made this mission so much more enjoyable. And if I can do that and not get told off by the game, why can't I do that anyway? Just toss the child. You know, they're surprisingly durable. But there you go, both objectives, fun and games is done. Thank you for watching. You take care now.